Good morning once again. Thanks for joining us this beautiful Wednesday morning. And in the studios, we are diving and focusing on something very pertinent that is really having a great impact on several lives. We're talking about young children, toddlers, young adults, adolescents, and even elders are suffering from this condition. Now, this year, there was a resurgence of something of viral influenza that really posed a great threat to several people, and people attached it to COVID-19. Of course, in the press release in May, the Minister of Health came out and demystified this notion that it is not actually a resurgence of COVID-19 after the World Health Organization declared that COVID-19 is no longer a public emergency. But there is an ongoing influenza or viral influenza which is posing a great threat, and people are asking what's going on. And today we joined with Dr. Chiza Blair. He's a medical doctor and MBBS, and we're going to be talking more of the management of viral influenza and how we can tackle, how can go about it, how can we avoid self-medication with it. There's so many things. And what is a virus? I mean, are we supposed to have them, or is it a threat, or it's not a threat? And so many things in this morning show. Dr. Chiza Blair, good morning, and thanks for joining us once again.
Good morning to you too. Thank you.
You look so healthy, as if you didn't suffer from nothing.
I've actually been a victim. For the last 2-3 weeks, I've been a victim, but I'm very happy. Good morning to you all listeners. As Mr. Chint has done justice to my name, I go by the name Dr. Chiza Blair.
Yes, sir.
And I work with TMR International Hospital, based in Nadia. I also work as the founder and executive director of an NGO called Usawa Health Initiative.
Yes, sir.
And I must say I'm very happy to be here. So to kickstart with your question.
Yes, viral influenza. What is that term, viral influenza?
Yeah.
I mean, please just break it for us because it is so medical and yes.
So to start on, viruses are very, very minute organisms that have been there, I think, even possibly longer than even humans have been on this earth.
Yes, sir.
And they are not quite distinct from bacterias, because I'm sure very many people are more conversant with bacteria. They keep on saying bacterial infections, but we also have viral infections. We have fungus, we have parasites, and then we have viral infections. Now, viruses are very unique in that there are quite a number. I think there are more than even bacteria. And they usually cause a number of infections, the most common one being HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, and others that follow the spectrum. Recently, we had a very big hit with COVID-19, which is a coronavirus. And of late, we've been having a wave of flu, cough, flu, sore throat, itchy throat, very painful throat, fevers, back pain, body pains. All those things have been making rounds within Kampala and even outside Kampala as well. And if I'm to give you information on it, is usually every time there is a rainy season, viruses make their rounds. Yes.
And we are in El Nino season. It's going up to December, to the end of it. Okay.
Yes. So it's around the time when viruses make their rounds. And if you look at the timing, is when children are returning from school. So when children are returning from school, given that they're always in close contact, close proximity with each other, we find that viruses take that opportunity to make their rounds. So when children return from school, they usually bring these viruses to the community. And away from that, it's around the time when there's a lot of movements going on. People within cities are moving to villages, and then others from outside countries are coming to the country. There are summers, parties are parties. There is a lot of close contact with each other. So that alone gives a leeway for viruses to their rounds. Okay. But it's important to mention that part of the viruses that cause this condition that we call common cold is corona. And corona has been in existence for a long time.
For a long time. It didn't just outbreak when we first had it in January 5th of 2020. It wasn't that.
So what really happened was these viruses be in existence, but a slight mutation, a slight change in their genetic makeup can make them strong and be dangerous. So, but otherwise, corona has not disappeared fully. It is available. But the other mutation that happened that caused that great pandemic, people losing their lives, is that there was a small change in its DNA that made it strong and dangerous and started claiming lives. But part of the spectrum of those viruses that cause common cold, we have respiratory syncytial virus, we have the coronavirus, we have rhinovirus, and a couple of them, they fall in that spectrum. They're just making their rounds within the atmosphere.
There is a word which is disturbing me. It is influenza. Is influenza the mother of, is it the one which is characterized by these nose, headache, intermittent fevers, and influenza, is it the mother or is what?
No, it's not. And it's not. You look at influenza, it's still part of the family of a large spectrum of viruses. And if I have to take you back, you remember when we had swine flu? That was influenza. Remember when we had bird flu? That was influenza. So usually these viruses are always there, but a slight heat causes them to change and become dangerous. So influenza also, it's available. It's within our proximity, but you find that it's more strong in colder environments. For example, the US, that's why they usually go for vaccination for influenza, which we don't have here. So still, influenza can be a part.
So doctor, is there a trigger, is there a cause for these viruses in order to have great impact on us? Before you know it, there is dry cough, there is a runny nose, there is intermittent fever. I mean, what triggers that?
So usually what triggers that is usually you look at climatic change, very, very important.
Yes.
You look at every time we have the deforestations going on, change in sea levels, they eliminate that protective layer called the ozone and makes it easy for different forms of radiations to come into existence. Now, radiation plays a very big role when it comes to changes of these viruses and their genetic makeup. So we have to be very cautious when it comes to the genetic makeup. We look at climate change is very, very important, and how we actually handle animals and their feedings.
Yes. Now, my other question, which really also mind boggles, is where does it affect children most?
Now, children are susceptible because they're more exposed. You find that children are always in close proximity with other children, unlike adults, because you find children are all over other people, they're all over the children, and they usually use anything they find. So they get a dirty hanky from somewhere, someone dropped, put it in their mouth, put it on their face.
They will bite on the pancake, they give the other, also bites and they return and they exchange.
Puts it in the mouth, spits it out, picks it up and takes it. That's why it's very common. And you look at most of these viruses, especially this, the commonest way they spread is when I cough or when I sneeze, I suspend the virus into the atmosphere. Now, that virus has an ability to sway to another person. That's why during COVID, they used to tell us, maintain a distance of 4 meters. Because when I sneeze or I cough out, it can't move past 4 meters. But you find that these days, we no longer have respect for that. There's no more masks. I will sneeze in a taxi, windows are closed. I'm in a house, sneeze, windows are closed. I'm in a covered space, I sneeze and everything's just going up there and everyone is just taking in it. Because these viruses can penetrate your body through any opening, through the nose, through the mouth, through the eyes, through the ears, any possible way they can get access. So hand washing is something we forgot. Sneeze, someone sneezes with their hands, they come shake your hands. And also you wipe your, because Africans, we are fond of touching our faces. Each and every now and then you're touching your face, touching your eyes.
Don't tell me that our hands, they're such a great breeding ground for a lot of viruses and bacteria.
Very, very, very.
Our hands.
Yeah. You look at one notorious virus called hepatitis B. Commonest way it spreads it's through close contact.
Touching
Everything you find. Because you can't move around with gloves, so you just touch anything. You touch yourself, you touch, and all sorts. And also, you know, we are fond of intimacy in rainy season. You're sleeping with this one, you're sleeping with the other one, you're sleeping, kissing everyone you're finding on the streets. There are things that have actually contributed a lot.
I was about to ask, because the cultures that kissing is their form of greeting. When you go to Rwanda, when you go to the Arab world, they normally kiss. And I wonder how they do that. Don't they have a high prevalence of these influences?
They should. There's no study that has proved that, as far as I know. But I mean, it has all the risks that it can take.
Because there's too much contact. They'll just pick here. They'll. Wow.
That alone contributes to that. Then also we look at the people who are supposed to be the front service providers, the doctors. We totally forgot about masks. For example, a relative of yours, maybe a wife or a child, goes to see a pediatrician, is not wearing a mask. Now, that pediatrician has seen over 20 people in a day, even 20 plus. And I tell you what, this is the season. Of the 20 you've seen, 15 of them are going to be having only that.
Wow.
And the entire time you're the one who is taking in, and then push out, take in, push out.
Actually, people went for treatment in hospitals. Before you know it, they're coming out with diseases and infections.
During COVID, caretakers, you go to take care of someone who has COVID, before you know it, you're admitted next to them.
Now, doctor, are there symptoms to this if I'm to run away from it? Are there symptoms that I can see and I'm like, something is coming before the situation becomes severe?
Yeah. Now, for this particular wave that we have, the earliest presentation is sore throat. Terrible sore throat. You feel
Does it itch?
You first feel like it's dry.
Okay.
So you drink water, thinking it will go away, doesn't. Now afterwards, it starts to get itchy and people get that urge to clear their throat. Now, when that, usually everything moves so fast. So within like 24 hours, what started as a dry throat, itchy throat, now it's a painful throat. Now, when that happens, usually be prepared that other things are coming. Yeah, from the sore throat, you start getting nasal congestion, nasal stuffiness, you start sneezing, because I mean, this is what we call a sneeze reflex. Every time there is anything irritating the nose or anything filling up in the nose, you'll be forced to sneeze. So you get people sneeze a lot. Then afterwards, they'll get a dry cough.
What is a dry cough? People are normally confused about it.
So dry cough is that cough where you don't produce any sputum, like nothing comes. You just cough, and then nothing comes out.
You feel a cough is there, but it's not coming out.
Yeah, and then you feel people saying, my cough is just here, it's not down here, it's here. Because if it's a cough, because what people interpret as a cough being down here is every time they're trying to cough, they feel like there's something coming from down.
Yes, sir.
Now, for this particular one, it's different. You feel like you're coughing from just your throat. You're just trying to clear something just down the throat. But all that is just a cough reflex. Every time there is an irritation, your body is designed by God in a way to try and clear as much as possible. So you cough out to clear whatever's stuck up here in the pipe.
Those who are just joining us right now, I know we are joined by Dr. Chiza Blair. He's a medical doctor, and we are tackling the management of viral influenza, which is really now, it is simmering, it's creeping, it's all around us. You may be even having children there who are struggling with it. So we're trying to understand. Now, he's talking about one of those symptoms that you would or you might want to look out on, and you're like, let me prevent that it may not go viral or severe. Yes, you're still talking about the symptoms. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so part of other symptoms that we're having is we have the fevers. This particular ones are low-grade fevers. Now, this is where we have to be very careful.
Okay.
So rainy season comes with a lot of things, and one of them is malaria. So don't think that if you're having a fever, you think it's the flu that you're having. You can actually have both. Okay? You having flu doesn't stop you from having malaria, and you having malaria doesn't stop you from having flu. You can have both.
Rainy season normally trigger these two twins.
Yes.
Fevers and influenzas.
Yes. Because I know, growing up, they used to tell us that during rainy season, if you dance in the rain, or if you play in the rain, you get malaria. Or if you eat mangoes during a rainy season, you get malaria.
It used to happen.
It used to be such a coincidence that we confuse it like that.
Yes.
That you're eating mangoes.
Kumbe, it was the other way around.
It's the other way around, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing how, superstitions and those notions come to light with this true medical, terms, and you're like, okay, kumbe, it was this.
And our elders, by the way, are very smart because they realize that each time a kid plays in the rain, they'll get fever. But now they realize also when you eat mangoes, and what happens when you eat mangoes is most of the children who get malaria, coincidentally with eating mangoes, is they climb the mango tree.
Yes.
And when you climb the mango tree, in the thick of the tree, mosquitoes are many.
Yes, they breed from
bite
there.
you. But for us, we used to think that it's the mangoes that we ate that gave us malaria.
Thanks to our forefathers. Yes.
Other symptoms that we have is the body pains, the body aches. You wake up, you feel like your body is painful, joint pains. You feel like it's like you dug the whole night. So
yes.
You are running the whole night. Then among other symptoms that we have is the headache.
Okay.
Yeah, the head is in close proximity with the nose and the mouth. Usually anything that perturbs here, usually the pattern of the headache that they get is this one, temporal headache. So headache is on the sides. What most people say it's stress headache. And other symptoms that we get, coincidentally, we have nausea, vomiting, even diarrhea can come in. Because most of these viruses can affect even other systems other than the nose and the throat.
Yes.
They can as well take part in affecting your gastrointestinal system. You'll end up with a bit of vomiting and nausea, and then that kind of. But what commonly it's things that I've talked about: the sore throat, nasal stuffiness, the nasal congestion, the irritation causing the cough, which is typically a dry cough, the low-grade fevers, the headache, body pains, and joint pains.
Wow. Now, this dives me to preventive measures. People like me, I always want to prevent something before it bulges, and I'm like, I don't want to go to the severe part. Now, what could be the preventive measures? Now that I've realized, Papa, I'm having this, what can I do to prevent this without harming myself?
Okay. So prevention is very, very important, and I think it's paramount. Yeah, if we're in countries where influenza shots were available, you just go and get your vaccine. You'll be protected.
Okay.
But in countries like ours, the things that we can do to prevent is still the things we used to use in COVID time. Wash your hands. Keep your distance.
Excuse me, Doctor.
Wear your mask.
Washing hands.
Washing is very important.
And this is one of the things that we neglect. Because if I ask how many people have washed their hands ever since, by the end of the day, you will have a percentage 1 on 10.
Yeah.
And the people who are actually struggling with, okay, there is something else I want to ask you. Okay, you go ahead. Because I was going to, I'm tempted to go somewhere, but.
It's time to move around with your sanitizer. Just sanitize. Sanitize your hands.
Your hands clean. It's
Sanitize
one of the remedies.
Get that mask wherever you kept it in the suitcase.
Wow.
Get that mask. Wear that mask if you're going in the public. Then also tell your family members, because it doesn't make sense you protecting yourself, but another day you're going to watch TV with your kids who are having a flu and cough. You'll get it. So instill all those precautions in a homestead, workplace. Make sure that you sanitize. Keep your distance. Wear the mask.
Amazingly, you've not mentioned first. Go get this medication.
I'm coming.
I think
Africans will love medicine.
I'm telling you, because what happens that when you talk about preventive measures, when someone begins to feel or sees these signs and symptoms, they're like, there is a pharmacy, go get me this.
Yeah.
Now your approach is that wash your hands first.
Yeah.
Engage in that.
Yeah, it should be a holistic approach. Protect yourself, protect even the people around you. And now when you start getting the symptoms manifesting, then we start with the treatment. Now, treatment, I have to put it out there, most viral infection are self-limiting. other than like the only viruses that are not self-limiting are the ones like HIV, it's not self-limiting, hepatitis B, hepatitis C, non self-limiting. There's an extreme type of influenza that still will need treatment. So you look at part of the big family of viruses are self-limiting. Self-limiting means is they come and they will live on their own.
You said most viruses are self-limiting.
99%.
That is your camera here,
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah,
Please.
99% of viruses are self-limiting. They come, they live on their own. And what the treatment that we give in hospitals, or what pharmacists will give you, are medicines or drugs that are meant to alleviate the symptoms. We treat the symptoms. We don't give you medicine to kill the virus.
Doctor, that's your camera.
Yeah.
Someone ought to listen to this. Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there isn't any particular design treatment to treat viruses other than the other three I've talked about, the hepatitis B, the HIV, and a few that I've mentioned in that list. Most of them, we just give you treatment to calm down the symptoms, for you not to feel bad in the meantime when the viral infection is ongoing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching in. We're going to take a break briefly. When we come back, I like the conclusion in this first break. Most viruses are self-limiting. We're going to come back and dive into more of that. Good morning.
Bethany TV for health.
Child health and well-being, the foundation for a bright and promising future. Join us for exciting episodes aimed at optimizing our children's physical, mental, and emotional health with our team of experts, including pediatricians, nutritionists, and child psychologists, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on Bethany TV.
Bethany TV for health. Food allergies and intolerances affect lives in ways many may not comprehend. They are more than just dietary restrictions. They are the barriers to joy and well-being.
I personally never realized my diet would affect my health until I understood my allergies.
It's not just about what you eat. It's about feeling safe and included in social settings.
Join us this Thursday on the Nutrition Spot, live on Bethany TV at 8 p.m. as we embark on a journey of a life that is free from food-related limitations. With me, your host, Gift Nakainga.
Christmas is a
Hello, my name is Nat.
Bethany TV for health.
Good morning once again. Thanks for joining us. Now, Dr. Blair is in the house medical doctor, and we are tackling about management of viral influenzas, which have been categorized by runny nose, intermittent fevers, sore throats, dry cold throats, and many, many things. The list is endless. And when we took a break, we're talking about the preventive measures or the remedies to these flus. Now, you may be struggling with this, and this is the right time. Thanks for joining in. And Doctor told us that most of these viral or viruses are self-limiting. He's in the house. Please carry on.
Yeah, so to pick on from where I left was, I was trying to emphasize a key point of viruses are self-limiting.
The way they come is the way they will go.
They would just come and live on their own.
Wow.
But what we give you is, at the hospital, we give you something to help you out with the symptoms. You're having a fever, I'll give you some paracetamol for it. Get some Panadol, fevers will go. You're having a headache, get still some paracetamol, the headache will go.
When I asked my question, you kicked off with a implementation activity, that is wash your hands. What would be some other remedies that we can do without going to, before you go to pick some Panadol or something?
I'm coming to that. Yeah, so I was trying to say that the reason why it's very, very important to emphasize that viral illnesses, especially the ones that cause common cold and self-limiting, is do not take antibiotics. Do not. You're just bringing more problems to the world, because currently we are on a huge fight of antimicrobial resistance, and you don't want to be a person who is contributing to that. So I say viruses are self-limiting, especially the ones that cause this common cold that we have. So antibiotics have no effect, zero at all, except only one that has proved to have a bit of effect on some viruses. It's called azithromycin. But still, you're not warranted to run to a facility to get azithromycin because it has a bit of effect on viruses.
Yes, sir.
But, you know, we've been raised in an era where if you get a bit of cough flu, your parents will start you straight up on Septrin. Not even swallowing it, chewing. Chew Septrin, however bitter it is, because you think it has an effect on whatever is going on.
Wow.
And we are programmed to believe that when you chew Septrin, you're getting better. It's the same way we are believed that if you're having a wound and you open up a capsule of amoxicillin and you pour it on the wound, it gets better. Zero. No effect.
Seriously?
Zero. Just wasting time. That the wound is going to dry up when you pour that capsule there. It doesn't.
Wow.
You're just doing no service. Someone who has swallowed that capsule has done 90% way better than you was poured it there. Because at the end of the day, what you've poured there has to be absorbed, and trust me, it will be in less quantities. It will enter blood circulation, it will move around the body, and then it will come back to the wound. So by the time it's coming back, literally over 90% has been wasted on the skin, and then only 5% is what you're getting. Anyway, so getting back to our topic is, I said there's no need for antibiotics. Do not.
All right.
And with that being emphasized, home remedies, without even you going to the hospital, things you can do to... things you can use. So if you have honey, the better. Honey has a very good effect. Especially honey that is natural, not the ones we get from supermarkets. Because the ones we get from supermarkets, we can't trust the shelf life. We can't trust if it's okay, you know, it has gone through all this processing, they have removed...
A lot of preservatives.
And stuff like that.
Most of it is not natural, by the way.
Exactly. So we can't really dictate that this will be really good for you. But what I can stand on my 2 feet and tell you is natural honey has very good effect. Then 2, lemon. Lemon will always do magic. It will always do magic for you.
Doctor, what will abatuuliza baffe?
Yeah.
Ng'Oluganda balumanyi bulungi. Yogera mu lulimi olwo nabo baleme kufuulira nti tubalese.
Omubisi gw'enjuki ne ennimu bikolera ddala bulungi. Naddala ng'okutta ennimu n'ogiteeka mu mazzi agabuguma. N'oteekamu n'ebijiiko nga 2 eby'omubisi gw'enjuki. N'onywa nga amazzi gabuguumiridde. It will do you good.
Mu birwadde bino ebya senyiga fuba ebyo.
If you want to try it and see that it has a very good effect, waliwo tablets wetugaba babiyita strepsils oba obusinga babiyita nasal lozenges. buli mu honey lemon. Honey lemon never bukola mu ngeri ya sweet nti tugenda gamba kinuune, but trust me, by the time ekintu omaliro kinuuna, sore throat negenda bayagenze. Now just imagine
kaffe tujja ne tugula obukerende naye ng'ate obadde olina enniimuzo
n'omubisi gw'enjuki. Just bikwate, teeka amazzi agabugumiridde, kozesa akatinitini n'abaana b'ewaka bawe. You will do well. Your symptoms, ate sore throat, ate nyindo, you'll be relieved in a very short time. That's why people tend to used to abuse it during COVID. Until they used to make what we call the concoction.
Yes.
They used to get anything they find on the streets, any green thing, they just pour there and then smear and then use that. But herbs have always, for a long time, they've always had very good effect. The same way twakozanga omululuuza ng'omuntu alina malaria. Abantu abasinga twakole tugenda mu ddwaliro. Kosa mululuuza ne bakuyengera n'onywa.
Yes.
Malaria n'agenda. It had chloroquine in it. So go back with emphasis chloroquine now and you could get the same anti-malarial effect. And the other remedies that we can use at home is drinking plenty of water. Drink as much water as you can.
Lwaki tunywa nnyo amazzi mangi nga tulina ssenyiga bino?
Kunywa amazzi kiyamba in that you cleanse. Every time you leave your throat to dry up, viruses bwongera colonizing akuzaala. They multiply at that local site. When you drink water frequently, you keep on disrupting them. Every time they're trying to colonize, you disrupt and you clear them in the long run. And also, water has this calming effect, especially cold water. It tends to create that cold environment that lets the mucus that has been caught up here to kind of to melt and be easy to pass out. Have you ever seen someone who sneezes and have you ever sneezed and then your sneeze is so hot on a tissue? Sometimes even gives off some steam of it. Every time you're congested, it's warm up here.
Yes.
Warm.
Yes.
You drink something cold, it counteracts with the warmness, tends to let the mucus to melt and flow easily, so you'll be relieved.
Okay.
That's why we keep on telling you, drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water.
Amazzi mangi to help you out. Yeah. Then other remedies that we can use, still at home, vitamin C, taking a lot of fruits as much as you can.
Why do we take a lot of
Now, fruits, they contain a very important element called vitamin C. Now, vitamin C has proved to have an ability to reconstruct cells that are damaged.
Ooh.
Hey, that's why most of the skin products have vitamin C. To protect your skin, wherever there is a damage, to seal off very well.
Wawona wekka waliwo abantu waliwo ofuna ebbwa zefuna ebbwa neriwona lyokka nerigenda.
Even ones, if you eat healthy, you see most of the people who are disturbed with terrible, they're always in and out of the hospital, they're the first people to get flu, they're the first people to get a funny illness, the people who don't take fruits.
Ekirungo ekyo ekya vitamin C kiba tekiriimu mu mubiri gyabwe.
Very much protective.
Okay, kati so tulina okulya nnyo ebibala.
Exactly. So one, it has the ability to help you to rejuvenate different cells. That's number one. The number two, still vitamin C has an ability to offer an antioxidant property. Until every time there is an ongoing infection, we have a lot of residues that are produced in the fight. When the body is trying to fight off, there are a lot of residues that are given out. Now those residues can damage the cells. So for us to be able to protect the body from the effect of those byproducts, we need something that will counteract that. That's where antioxidants come in.
Doctor, ng'okyagenda mu nsonga eyo, producer nja kusaba ompe ku masimu oba wayina ekibuuzo kyonna tukubire ku simu buuza omusawo ekibuuzo kyonna waali okwanukula. Twogera ku birwadde ebijjira mu ssenyiga ekifuba kikaze kikuluma omutwe gutandise okuluma oliawo abaana bakolola ono mulwadde nawe mulwadde ng'obadde tumanyina kyakkola nga kyolowooza kudduka budduse mu pharmacy ofuneyo eddagala omusawo waali wano atugambye nti ebyo byonna nga tonnagenda kufuna ddagala waliwo ebisookerwako yiga okunaaba engalo yiga okunaaba engalo ezo wonamalo ziigo zinaaba kijja kukuyambako oba olina masiki gyambale ng'ogenda mu kifo ekyolukale ng'okigyeko waliwo okulya ebibala ebyo bikulu nnyo okunywa ennyo amazzi okuddira enniimu n'ogikamulira mu mazzi agabuguma nga mulimu hani omubisi gw'enjuki kale remedies ozaba birinya ng'ebintu ebyokuzanya naye ate awo wewali ensonga so esimu kweziri ku screen tukubireko erinnya lyo negyokubidde omusawo omubuuza ekibuuzo yes Dr. genda maaso
kati so bye tusobola okukozesa ewaka okutangira obutayisibwa bubi ku zino viral illness
era ne bikolera ddala
nnyo
lwaki tulowoleza nnyo mu byamaanyi nnyo twamanyira okugula nnyo eddagala ku famasi
abakoze famasi bagagawadde nnyo
kakati bino bisobola okuweebwa abaana kuba nawulira enniimu abaana baginywa
kati mubisi gwa njuki tetutera gwa abaana bato era santi advise nze muntu yenna kukwata mubisi gwa njuki gwa mwana muto especially omubisi oguli nakyo gutera okubeeramu akawuka ketuyita botulinum.
Hello caller. Hello nyabo amanya go gwani.
Hello Mr. Chinto.
Yes nyabo amanya go kubidewa. Hello. Egomba.
Ejuba.
Kisoka.
Esebo. Enyabo.
Amanya gange nze
Ruth. Yes Ruth. Buuza ekibuuzo.
Nze nkubye kusiima Dr. Blair.
Okay.
Kubanga the remedies natugambye honey ne lemon.
Yenyapo.
I know it's going to do me better. Kubanga then you can't want nnyo.
Okay.
Ate era kigenda kunyamba kuba mbadde nkozesa nnyo amakerenda overflow.
Kati singa osigala ku program eno ngenda kunyonyola.
So I just thank the management, all of you. Olwokubanga mutukoze bulungi olw'okutuletanga programs eza health. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, Ruth okuva Mukono Kisoga. Yes, ku esimu kwesimu kibuuzo n'amanyago nejovudde naye okendeeza ku Bethany gikendeze kubanga oba weewulira tulwawo nnyo ate wabeera ne feedback eno tuba kitaataganya webale nnyo. Yes doctor.
Kale kati mbadde
Ruth ono ekintu kyo sijjagamba nti ojja kyerabira naye kale
alina kyayisizaawo nti atawaanyizibwa nnyo
yes.
Era nga abantu bangi nga bagamba naye omwana taggwako lubyamira buli kaseera ye ennyindo ye bayazibikira abeeramu good body tasobola nakwogera bulungi kubanga eddoboozi lyakyuka kubanga every time wobeera wano nga wajjudde n'eddoboozi likyuka tubawo kye tuta sinuses abantu twakikazaako naye nga sinuses just bituli biri muno mu kawanga buli muntu abiina obulwadde babuyita sinusitis naye kati buli mwaga nina sinuses kati senyiga ebiseera ebisinga wajja ayinza otandikira wano ku nnyindo neyeyongerayo n'agenda mu bino ebituli tuyita sinuses n'abizibikira beba osanga eddoboozi likyusa oba nawulira muno facing ezitoyi nga mbadde nnyonnyola nti ebiseera ebisinga singa abeera nga kawuka kano ka virus ke kakireese kiba kya mugaso nnyo n'okozesa ku zino home remedies and then wowulira nga tezikoledde bulungi osogenako mu ddwaliro n'ofuna eddagala ebiseera ebisinga lyenjagala omusawo yaba ali kuwandiikira kubanga abantu abasinga we are so inclined to go and get whatever worked for my neighbor or whatever my sister uses or whatever my brother told me to use will work for me too.
si kituufu ekyo
nti twamanyira okukozesa Dexa buli muntu eyo mu kyalo yenna gusenyiga akuluma nze Dexa ntambula ne mu mmotoka nze Dexa tanva mu nsawo. Now Dexa is a very dangerous drug. Very dangerous. Nga obulaba nga oweka buli obutino webuti. Extremely dangerous. They fall in a class of drugs called steroids. You don't want to use steroids in an improper way because they can give you everything else. Oh, you know, wake up. Wobumira nga wosanze, you can end up with diabetes. Sukari.
Wanye.
Hey. Nti yatandika nga alwanyisa senyiga, ate kati olina sukari. Sukari tawona. Self-medication.
Okwejjanjaba nga tuli musawo.
Kubanga Abafirika ffe tukkiriza nti ekyankolera luli kyekyama kyange kati natambula.
Ekyakolera mulirwana. Ate ennaku zino tulina n'abasawo bangi abaafuusa abasawo abeefuula.
Newaka.
Kyeyakozesa kyagala akolesa kino.
Ne bataata abasinga bakuze basawo.
Kituufu ndise bwe twakola.
Era nga balina n'omukebe gw'eddagala ewaka. Nti kati gwe ekikuluma kwata kano. Kajja kukola.
Taata toli musawo oli taata.
Waliwo ensonga lwaki tugenda ne tusomera emyaka 5, 6, 7 nga tuli mu ssomero. Kuyambako bintu nga bino.
Abalala musawo waabwe ye Gugu. Mr. Gugu.
Agenda kukebera katini bw'ati agamba baŋŋambye Dexona nagenda n'awandiika wansi.
Good morning, hi Aunt Carrie.
Good morning, how are you?
Evening.
Yes, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. I'm from Mengo.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm Chitiwa Evening from Mengo.
Okay, Chitiwa, go right ahead, please.
Ekibuuzo kyange.
Ennyabo.
Like a year back, nafunako tonsillitis nali ku ssomero. Then nezimala nezeehiringa. But after some time, eddoboozi lyange ne litandika osaakaala. Then after some few months, ne libyedda ne libanga ery'abasajja. So since then, bwe libanga eritereera, once I get maybe a simple flu or cough, it goes back like the way you're hearing me now. What would be the problem?
Okay, thank you so much.
When I went to the hospital, bangamba nti I shouldn't use things with a lot of acid. Before I went to the hospital, but then the doctor told me that it wasn't good for me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your point is at home, Chitiwa. Thank you. Yes, Doctor.
So mbadde njala soka kwisawo kano ke mbadde ndikoze nizire ku munange nja munyonyola bulungi. Kati nti wesanga nti steroids no zikozesa mbadde kyanyola ebintu bisobola okuwa. Bisobola okuwa sukali.
Obulwadde bwa sukali.
Obulwadde bwa sukali. Osandikirawo mpola mpola ogenze mu ddwaliro bagambye na sukali ato kikkiriza nti sukali yava ku ki. Ekiddako waliwo kye tuyita ogejja amanakunaku. Waliwo kiwuliddeko? Newesanga omuntu ng'agezze wano mu mugongo. Newesanga omuntu ng'agezze face, agezze matama, agezze kyenyi, agezze muno. Newesanga omuntu ng'agezze muno wemuti. N'abeera ng'asituse muno gulugulu n'engeno wansi mutini.
Steroids.
Manya ebipaapi?
Yes.
Osanga omuntu ng'alina ekintu kya papa wano ku face. Steroids.
Wow.
Especially zino skin products abasinga okukozesa steroids zeerusa by the way. Tuwonako sono Dexona okumala ebbanga ogenda kumyuka.
Wow.
Also the skin products abantu abasinga ze bakozesa buno bu cream akolaka cream n'akanyigira mu bizigo n'atabula mu bakazi abatabula ebizigo mu butale n'amutabulira ekizigo bateeka muki agenda ali ku pharmacy bamwe ka tube kadde ka clobetaso akanyigire mu kizigo je weesiige. Umalize nga skin ye etandise ku skin etandika okufuuka soft. Ko steroids zikola zitandika okukendeza layer ya skin. The skin yandi kuprotectinze nebeera ng'eri thin esobola n'okuyulika mangu.
Okay, kati kitegeeza nti
ekyuka ne kala netandika okufuuka purple ne black.
Doctor, twagala kumaliriza mu ddakiika 2 ono kitiibwa ono gw'oba oyanukula
kale so ebiseera ebisinga eddoboozi okukyuka kiva ku bintu bingi ebiseera ebisinga weesanga kiva ku common cold nti ofunye mu kasenyiga katini eddoboozi likyuse nga wena kunyonyodde nti muno mulimu ebituli muno mu kawanga byetuyita sinuses nga bya mugaso nnyo okuyambako okuwa resonance eri eddoboozi okubulikika nga ddungi era weesanga nti bw'ofuna senyiga eddoboozi likyuka ekirala kisobola okukyusa eddoboozi nti eno wansi tulina kye tuyita voice box in medical language we call it the larynx. Now the larynx can be affected by many things. Sometimes abantu abalina ulcers ndanga ulcers zimaze ebbanga batazijjanjaba batuuka ekiseera ne bafuna kye tuyita reflux gastroesophageal reflux disease mu lulimi olufuutifuuti they will say GERD. Now GERD kitegeeza nti oli emmere neegenda mu lubuto teina kukomawo maybe ng'oli nte yezza obwenkulu nti weeri ayituuka n'ekiseera n'ebikomyawo mu kamwa netandika okulya neerogwa.
Hello caller.
Nze Saara okuva Eruweero.
Saara okuva Eruweero, ekibuuzo kyo nnyabo.
Ekibuuzo kyange kiri eki. Nina omuzzukulu naye ekifuba tekimugwako tubeeramu ennaku ekinene nnyo ennaku 2 n'addamu ati n'akolola n'essenyiga.
Bambi
ng'olakola ntya ate omusawo atugambye awo nti ate kirungi mwana muto omuwa mubisi gwa njuki. Empulira okukyamu naye mwebale nnyo okutuweereza.
Kale Sarah tweyanziza maama webale nnyo. Kale.
Sikali manyi kyanyonnyola nti weesanga nti
bigenda mu lubuto
tebirina kukomawo. Weesanga nti omuntu alina ulcers nga tazijjanjabye bulungi. Bino ebintu byonna ebigenze mu lubuto manyi olubuto lulimu acid. So bitera okukomawo ne bisipiiringa. Kati ebitera okusipiiringa oluusi bitera okwokyerera wano waggulu. Ne weesanga ng'ofunye kye tuyita reflux pharyngitis. N'obeera ng'olina akafuba akatategeerekeka naye nga kiva ku ulcers z'olina eno wansi. So ebiseera ebisinga nti si buli ssenyiga kifuba kusiigibwa mu bulago kiva ku viruses. Sometimes kiva ne kuki ulcers. So kiba kya mugaso nnyo okugenda mu ddwaliro ne bakwevaluate ne bamanya ki ekireese ekyo ky'olina. Ebintu ebisobola okuleetera eddoboozi okukyuka.
Kakati kitiibwa ono agenda kukola atya? Agende mu ddwaliro?
So bintu bibiri. Yeta ogenda mu ddwaliro ne bakola ka test ke bayita endoscopy. Endoscopy kabeera ka tube kabeerako kamera tukayisa muno mu kamwa ne tugenda nga tutunula eno wansi paka mu lubuto. Ekirala kyalina okukola basobola otandika ne ka laryngoscope still akaba ka kamera tukakozesa okutunula ne mabega w'omumiro ne twetegereza ne wali wansi ku voice box waliwo effect yonna. Sometimes ensonga kuliko ka swelling kati ne bwe kati ne kakyusa eddoboozi. Ensonga ki abayimbi abamu atuuka ekiseera eddoboozi ne likyukira ddala oba eddoboozi lyafa ng'alina kali ke tuyita laryngeal nodule.
Doctor, obudde bwebwo naye Saara ono oweeruweero omwana omuto kifuba kimuzimbyeko akayumba.
Kati kisinzira omwana alina emyaka emeka. Tetutera kukubiriza kuwa baana bato bali wansi w'omwaka gumu.
Naye kasaba ng'alina gumu n'okwambuka waggulu.
Gumu kwambuka waggulu asobola otandikira awo. N'ekirala nti omwana aba taggwebwako ssenyiga na kifuba. Sometimes kiba kya mugaso nnyo okuzuula nti alina allergy oba talina. Tuyinza okwesanga nti gwe kyolowooza nti ssenyiga ono ava ku viruses ate nga omwana just alina allergy. Asthma. Asthma tebaggwebwako kifuba. Because agenda bwakolola.
Naye ng'awona ye.
Asthma. Asthma gw'ofunye mu buto osobola okuwona. Asobola okugenda yekka ng'oli mu kukula. Naye waliwo asthma alemerako alemezaamu n'okula naye.
Kakati byonna bitegeeza nti agenda mu ddwaliro.
Agenda mu ddwaliro. Ebiseera ebisinga kitera va ku allergies. Tulina allergy ekuleetera ssenyiga buli kaseera n'ekifuba.
Kati oba olina kwetegereza omwana ono ekifuba we kyeyongerera biki ebyo.
Ebiseera ebisinga allergies ezisinga zitera va ku mpewo nti kati omwana waba nti ekifuba kye kitera kujja mu mpewo muwe ekisweta muwe amazzi agabuguma ne kacaayi. Aba amazzi agabuguma.
Abatulaba obudde bwe butugana naye nga ffe tugenze. Dr. Kiza Blair gwe mbadde naye ssebo we bali kutwegattako olunaku lwali lwakusatu ku lwokusatu wiiki ejja bw'anaaba ojja kumulaba ajja kuddamu ayanukula ebibuuzo. Erinnya lyange nze Kintu Mutesaasira Senior, olaba Bethany TV at Health Morning. Katuddemu olunaku lw'enkya, Mukama akuume. Merry Christmas.